How everybody feeling on this wonderful Tuesday evening, man? About to give y'all about a minute or so to tap in with the kid, man. Hopefully y'all got about an hour or so to listen to the kid build, listen to the vent, man. Let me get some things off my chest. This is about to be one of those streams once again where I go off in vent mode, man. Been in vent mode a lot lately because it's a lot of nonsense that's going on out here, man. And just the inspiration and the motivation is real in the field, man. It's just a lot of things that's been surrounding me, that's been motivating me and inspiring me to get on here, man, and just chop it up and build and vent and just let my frustrations out, man. So again, hopefully y'all got about an hour or so to listen to what it is that I have to say pertaining to this subject matter, man. Something real in the field. I feel like all black people need to tune in and tap in for this joint, man, because it's going to be powerful, man. So again, how y'all feeling? How y'all living on this wonderful Tuesday, man? What's the word? Talk to me before I start talking to y'all. Montel, peace. What's the word? What's happening with you, my brother? Zeke, what's the word? Peace. How we living? How we feeling? The cultivator of sports, peace. What's happening with you? What's the word? How we living? How we feeling? Dominic, peace. What's happening? Oh yeah, Tuesday word for sure. Definitely about to drop the information on them today. Montel, man, everything is good, man. Everything is centered, peaceful, balanced, business good, we good. Everything is good. Rocking and rolling, man. Just got some things that I need to get off my chest. I'm about to go ahead and get them off my chest, though. You know what I'm saying? Long as y'all good, we good. So hopefully y'all staying peaceful out here, man. This chaotic world, man. Staying centered. Staying balanced in this imbalanced world, man. So to maintain your peace, to maintain your sanity, to maintain your health in today's climate, big accomplishment, man. Big achievement. Pseudo charlatans, peace. What's the word? Yeah, but we gotta chop it up today, man. We gotta talk about something that's important. Talk about something that's very important, man. I'm gonna give everybody about another minute or so before we really start diving into it. I don't want people to miss some of the most important points, man. But we gotta go in. We gotta go in. Black people need to be tapped in, tuned in. It's one of those sermons, man, one of those lessons today, man, where I feel like a lot of black people need to hear what's being said, because a lot of times you run into people, man, we do the knowledge to our history, man. We got a lot of these organizations, a lot of these groups, a lot of these, you know what I'm saying, these cultures that revolve around black people let you know how great we were, how great we are. But it's like at the same time, when you analyze our condition, once we realize this greatness, it's like it's time for us to manifest that greatness as a people. We can't be talking about how great we were, how great we are, and we continue to enrich the oppressor, the devil, whatever we want to call them. You know what I'm saying? These white folks have many names that are not necessarily positive. And these names are not something that we have made up. Like our ancestors warned us about these people. So they have been given evil, wicked names just based off of their ways and actions. So at some point, when we realize how powerful we are as a people and the things that we have done and the things that we have accomplished, it's time for us to put some of those things into motion. We got to stop talking about how powerful we are, and we got to start putting that into motion to show and prove how powerful we are as people. And a lot of times I feel like that's where we tend to fail. Just peace, what's happening? Ananias, peace, what's the word? Your son, peace, what's happening? So all that talk, man, it's a lot of it is just it feels good to hear some of these things, man, but it's another thing to really start putting things into motion. When you start talking about us being gods and whatnot, we got to live according to that reality, though. You know what I'm saying? What good is it to talk about how godly we are? You know what I'm saying? Talking about that we gods and this, that, and the third, whole while we not manifesting any type of action that shows and proves that type of power. You know what I'm saying? Like we make it, and we refer to them as the devil or devils and things of that nature, whatever we want to refer to them as, and we enriching them. Who really has the power at that point, man? If we about to continue to talk about how powerful we are as black people, man, I feel like it's time for us to put that stuff into motion. So, you know what I'm saying? We got to reclaim our position on that throne. It's Donnie, peace queen, what's happening? So it's one thing to talk about, it's another thing to be about it. But a lot of times people just want to talk about it. They want to talk about, man, black people this, black people that. Black man is God, black woman is earth. It's like now it's time to live out that reality. We got to live out that reality. I don't feel comfortable talking about how godly I am. You know what I'm saying? Talking about how I'm God, and then I'm referring to them as wicked, evil and the devil, and then I'm still enslaving for them. I'm still enriching them. I'm making them richer. You know what I'm saying? I'm working hard to enrich their legacy. But yet we calling them, they're like, nah, I don't like that. That never sits well with me. Like if this is the war between the God and the devil, who has the power? We supposed to be the most powerful. You know what I'm saying? Of course, especially once you come to that realization. Once I come to the realization that, hey, black is associated with God, you know what I'm saying? I'm not about to be slaving for these white folks no more. I'm not about to be enriching these white folks' empires and legacies and things like that. I'm no longer doing that. I'm no longer committed to that type of lifestyle once I realize who I am. Once I realize how powerful I am as a black man. I'm no longer doing anything that will enable them to become richer off of my blood, sweat, and tears. It's not happening. That doesn't sit well with me. Shane and Peace, what's happening? Dean, Peace, what's going on? So that never sat well with me. Once I started to do the knowledge to our history, you know what I'm saying, do the knowledge to myself, and I realized my power, I'm like, dude, I'm not comfortable working under these devils, man. I'm not comfortable taking orders from these devils, from these white folks. I'm not comfortable lacking this control over my life when I'm getting the lessons, and the lessons telling me how powerful I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's telling me that you are God and things of that nature. I'm like, well, if I'm God, then I should be able to have way more power over my life than these devils do. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things that inspired me to kind of do my own thing, man, because I took that stuff to heart. You know what I'm saying? My lessons, the first lesson, who is the original man? The original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, father of civilization, God of the universe. I took that lesson to heart. Maker, owner. Like maker, owner. Like I took that to heart. That mug, it says owner. You know what I'm saying? That's what the lesson says. You know what I'm saying? The original man. I'm an original man. So maker, owner is in that. Father of civilization, God of the universe. I took that to heart. I'm not letting somebody who I feel like is recessive. You know what I'm saying? The recessive genes of these white. Listen, they don't have power over me. No. I refuse to bow down to somebody who has the recessive genes. I'm not doing it. Ricky, Peace, what's happening? I am not doing it. I'm the wrong person to get a knowledge of self to, because I take that to heart. I'm the wrong person to give knowledge of self to, because once I get the truth about black people and that power, and then I get the truth about white people and that wickedness, like it's a done deal at that point. It's a done deal. I'm moving according to that knowledge of self energy. I'm moving according to that information. I move according to that power. I'm moving according to that greatness. That's how I'm moving. I don't fool with taking orders from these white folks, man. I don't even have to work with these white folks for that matter. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with dealing with my own people. So I had to set myself up in a position to where that's how I'm moving. That's how I did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, man, I ain't feel comfortable in corporate America having these meetings with these white folks and just smiling at them, trying to kiss up to them. Like, I'm not that one. You know what I'm saying? So if my livelihood depended upon me bowing down, kissing up to these white folks, I wasn't going to make it too far. And that's pretty much where I was at. Like, man, I'm not about to be smiling with nothing funny. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to get a promotion, kissing up to these white folks. That ain't how I'm rocking. So I got to do for self. That's the only way that I'm going to be able to rock. That's the only way that I'm going to be able to earn a sufficient living, is for me to do for myself, because I don't feel comfortable dependent upon these devils for my livelihood. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable giving them that power of whether or not I get a raise and I'm able to take care of my family. I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable giving them that power. And that's what they do. They have that power. The power is in their hands. When we working for their corporations, they have the power in regards to how much we gonna make, how many hours we got to work to make it. Like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna figure out a way to get this on my own. I'm gonna figure out a way to get a message out to my people and have the people back me. That's how I'm gonna roll. You know what I'm saying? We intelligent, we powerful enough. You can figure out something that you can do that don't revolve around you or don't require you to depend on them. You can figure out something. You can learn a skill. You can learn a trade, man. You got a lot of wisdom. You got a lot of knowledge. You can learn something. You can learn how to do something to where you don't have to depend on these people for your check, to feed your family, to feed yourself. You know what I'm saying? If we guys, then that's what we should be doing. Maker, owner. That's how we need to be moving. That's how we need to be moving. Point blank, period. That's how we need to be moving, point blank, period. Once, like I said, once I got the lessons, man, once I got the lessons, and again, y'all heard the lesson that I spit back out to y'all. Once I got that lesson, like that first lesson, that's all I needed. That was my confirmation. The Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, got it. Once I heard maker, owner, I was like, that's right. That's right. When they said, who is the original man? Original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner. Once I heard maker, owner, I'm like, there we go. There we go. If I'm not making, if I'm not owning, then I'm not being the original man that I'm supposed to be. Making and owning. I stopped at those two words. I should be making, I should be owning. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I should be living. That's how we should all be living. Especially as black men. We don't understand, again, when we talking about the math and we talking about that one black man being the foundation. When they talk about the head of the household, man, a lot of things revolve around us black men and we don't even really realize it. We don't realize the true power that we have as black men. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you realize your true power as a black man. When we start to really realize our true power, is crazy. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these sisters, some of these sisters be in tune and they have things like intuition. A lot of them be tapped in. But it's another thing when a brother is tapped in. When a black man is tapped in, man, that's some real true power right there. When a black man is tapped into himself and his true power. It's about to be some real powerful things that's about to be born from that realization, that understanding, that activation. That manifestation, when that black man is tapped into himself. Because when that black man is tapped into himself, guess what? He gonna attract a sister, and that sister is gonna be tapped into herself. And then guess what? They are gonna come together and they're gonna procreate and they're gonna give birth to the best part, which is the child or the baby. And guess what? That baby is gonna grow up tapped into him or herself. You can't beat that. You can't beat that. You can't beat it. You can't beat it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always trying to encourage these brothers, man, get tapped in. Get tapped into yourself, black man. You have got to get tapped in because it's a lot of things that revolve around you that you don't even know because society has corrupted the minds of black men and black women. So we, as black men, we don't realize how powerful we are because that's by design. You know what I'm saying? That's by design, and it's a bunch of movements. It's a bunch of organizations that's behind placing the black man on a lower pedestal. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of organizations, it's a lot of groups, it's a lot of people that's behind that situation, man. So they want to make the black man less powerful or appear less powerful than he actually is. And they've done a good job of doing that. They've done a good job of doing that. To the point where a lot of us, most of us don't realize our true power. We don't think we have any power. We don't think we have any say-so. You know what I'm saying? We don't know how powerful we really are. And again, all of this is by design because the moment that we realize how powerful we are, then you have what has happened to a lot of our black men that have come to the realization of how powerful we are and went to the streets and was preaching that message or teaching that message. Malcolm X, Khalid, Mohammed, Huey Newton, Black Panther Party, all of these organizations. When you get black men to realize how powerful we are, it's hard to stop the nation at that point. It's hard to stop black people collectively at that point when a black man realizes it. When a black man realizes how powerful he is, and he has a magnetism about him to where he's able to attract people, it's a problem. It's a problem. It's a problem. It's a big problem. Lindell, peace, what's happening? It's a big problem. It's a big problem. When that black man comes to the realization that we are powerful, then they're gonna have the Malcolm X approach and they're gonna go out here and they're going to try to teach people. They're going to try to teach these brothers, teach these sisters how powerful they are. And when you somebody like Malcolm X, you got that magnetism. You able to reel people in. that wouldn't listen to the average person. So when you have that magnetism as a black man and you realize the truth about black people and you able to reel people in, you taking people off the streets that wouldn't listen to the everyday average person that's telling them the same thing that Malcolm is telling them. They just not listening to him because they don't have the magnetism that Malcolm has. So then you get a person like Malcolm and has that magnetic about him to where he's able to attract people. You have a problem. You have a threat. You have a threat. That black man, that's the commander, man. That's the one who provides that structure. You know what I'm saying? That's the one who's gonna send out the orders, send out the hits and things like that. They don't want a person like that giving orders. They don't want it. They don't want a person like that to have any type of influence. They don't want that. They don't want it. They don't want it. That's why they go so hard to try to suppress the black man and that energy, that dominant energy. They go so hard to try to suppress that energy. They go hard to suppress it. That's why they don't want us talking about that black stuff. They don't want us to do it. They want us to appear like, they want us to look at everything and say it's colorblind. Like, nah, it's nothing colorblind. You see it. You know what I'm saying? And for you to act like you don't see my color, like, one, is offensive to me. I want you to see the fact that I'm original. I want you to see the fact that I'm original. It's important. That's why we born like this. It's important. It plays a role. And people got to understand that. Your pigmentation, it plays a role in your life. You know what I'm saying? So you got to live differently. Like when you are a darker pigment, you got to eat differently than the people that are of a lighter shade. Like, this is an actual fact. If it didn't matter, you would not be born this type of way. Like, it matters. It's part of you. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely matters. It definitely matters, man. So it's a part of you, man. It's a certain way that you got to live. It says a certain thing about you genetically when you are born this type of way. So it's not something that you should ignore. You know what I'm saying? You're not above the universe. You're not above all the people that acknowledge pigmentation when you try to say everything is colorblind or you don't see color things along those lines. No, that's something to tap into. That's something to pay attention to. You know what I'm saying? Because for the most part, it's important to acknowledge the pigmentation because, like I said, it's a lot of lifestyle choices that you must make that revolve around your pigmentation. Like I said, we got to be eating a certain type of way. We cannot eat the same way that Europeans eat, that white people. We can't live that same type of way, man. It's a certain way that we got to be out in nature. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can't be out in nature like we are out in nature. This revolves around the melanin. This revolves around pigmentation. These are actual facts. We got to live differently. We got to live differently. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we have to do. So it's a big difference, just scientifically, genetically. And what they were doing back in the day when it was slavery, they twisted the science. You know what I'm saying? They twisted the science. That's what they did. They twisted the science to try to make it look like we were inferior based off of our pigmentation. They twisted the science to try to make it benefit them. But you got you have honest white scientists that will let you know the truth about the darker pigment, the melanin, and things along those lines, and just how dominant that makes a person. Even the book that I got about the jab and whatnot. This book was written by two white folks, man, a white doctor, and I forgot the other one. I think she was like a white researcher or something like that. Or maybe it was a dude that was like a white researcher, man. He just did independent research. But the other doctor in that book, or the doctor in the book, she was white, and the other dude that co-authored the book was white. And in that book, they let you know about tribes of people that did not encounter diseases until they started meshing with the white folks. So we can't write out that part of history. We got ancient tribes, you know what I'm saying? We got ancient tribes of original people that did not know certain diseases and certain lifestyles until we started interacting with white folks. That is the common denominator. So we can't ignore that type of stuff. We can't ignore that role in history. You know what I'm saying? That's why white people got the stigma that they do when you do honest research. You know what I'm saying? That's why our ancestors tried to warn us about these people. You have points in time in history where we did not know anything about certain diseases and conditions until we started interacting with them. And that's an actual fact. Look up, I think it's Zavante. The Zavante tribe. I think it's a Brazilian tribe. That's some more homework for y'all. Look up the Zavante tribe, man. That right there, that's in that book that I was just reading, the Zavante tribe. Just look it up. It's a Brazilian tribe, man. Brazilian tribe. Just look it up, man. They were not, they was out here, like they was protecting the tribe to the point where they was killing, you know what I'm saying, anybody from the outside that got close to them. And it's a lot of tribes that's like that still to this day. You know what I'm saying? But that's one of the ways that they were staying immune. That's one of the ways that they were avoiding a lot of plagues and viruses and illnesses and pandemics and things like that. They were not letting anybody from the outside get close to the tribe. But who ended up getting close to the tribe? White folks, Whitey, because Whitey just can't leave people alone. So got close to the tribe, brought a lot of diseases to this particular tribe that they were not dealing with before they interacted with this group of original people. And it's written right there in the book by white people. Like, this is not somebody that's black that wrote this. These are white people saying that this tribe didn't know anything about these diseases until they started interacting with the white man. So white folks wrote that book. So a lot of times people be hearing the things that we say, and a lot of times we getting this information from white folks wrote that. I didn't write that. Black man didn't write it. Black woman didn't write it. It was a white woman and a white man. They wrote that. Again, when you're doing honest history, when you're doing honest research, there you go. There you go. Sweet tea, peace. What's happening? What's happening? Yeah, Dean, I'm telling you, I know for a fact that was one of the reasons why corporate America wasn't giving me the respect I deserve. That's why I went out here and I earned my own way. You know what I'm saying? I created my own opportunities. That's why I did that, man. Because again, we got to understand something about power. This is what people don't understand. This is why I look at black people like, are you serious? I look at black people like, are you serious? One thing about power is that it is never evenly distributed. Never. There will never be a point in time where you have a group of people that's on top and they evenly distribute the power to other groups of people. When you got a people that's on top, they are going to see to it that they maintain their power. They maintain their position of power. So there will be no point in time in history where the playing field is even when it comes to power, especially when the white folks are up top. So there will never be a point in time where everything is evenly distributed when it comes to power. For the life of me, black people tend to think that we gonna reach a point to where it's all equal. There is no such thing. No such thing as equality when it comes to power in these white folks. No such thing. They are never going to set it up in a way to where if it's 10 people, if it's 10 positions at the top, they are never going to set it up in a way to where it's going to be 5 and 5. 5 black people or 5 original people, then 5 of them. No, if anything, it's going to be like 8-2, maybe 7-3, maybe 9-1. And then they have redefined what it means to be a minority. So a white woman is in the minority. You know what I'm saying? So they just include, all right, we got a white woman in here, then we're going to get this token black dude. You may have a black woman, this, that, and the third. But when they redefine what it means or what it meant to be a minority, then that made it easier for them to keep the power. Because again, a white woman, she's in the minority. She's in the minority, technically. You know what I'm saying? So again, we got to understand something about power. As long as we are in their system, the power will never be evenly distributed. Why would they, again, when it comes to like the educational system, corporate America and things along those lines, why would they teach us in a way to where we can even the playing fields when it comes to power? They never going to do that. They're 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 never going to say, okay, we're going to teach everybody equally so that the playing field can be even, so that black people can rise to the same position of power that we are at currently. They never going to do that. That's never going to happen. You can cancel Christmas on that ever happening. And Christmas is canceled anyway. But you can cancel Christmas on that happening. They are never going to teach black people to say, okay, y'all can reach the same position that we reach. That doesn't make any sense when you understand the dynamics of power. That is not how that works. When you have a group that is in a position of power, then one of their main objectives is to maintain that position. They cannot allow other groups of people to get to the same position, to even out the playing field. They can't allow that to happen. Can't allow it to happen. So power is never evenly distributed. So black people, I don't know, for the life of me, we seem to think that one day will change. We get all in our feelings about being in corporate America, then we get overlooked. white people get promoted, get all these bonuses, they get treated a different way. Like that is how it's supposed to work when we are in their system. So we need to stop getting in our feelings when these things happen, because that's how it's supposed to go. These white folks are just looking out for their own, just like we ought to do. So I never really even get mad. When I was in corporate America and I was seeing that, man, I ain't get this job, like white person got it initially, but then it's like, all right, man, I understand what's happening. I understand what's happening. When you work in that job, you see that white person that don't deserve to get promoted over you, get promoted over you. It's like they looking out for their own. They already got their token black people up there, man. They already met the quota. They ain't got no more room for you. Or in my type of position where I was at, the only way I was gonna get promoted is if there was an opening at the branches that were in black neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, well, we ain't got no opening in the black neighborhood, so you just got to stay here. Even though you qualified to get this position on the white side of town, we're not going to give it to you. We're not going to give it to you. You got to wait for something to open up in the most dangerous neighborhood for you to get qualified for it. Then if you do get a position on the white side of town to where you got to oversee white folks, they going to sabotage you. I saw that happen. I saw a brother get promoted to the white side of town, the white wealthy side of town. And that's one of the worst sides of town to be on, where you dealing with the real privileged white folks. So he got sent over there and they sabotaged the brother. They sent him over there with an older white lady that you knew that white lady was not going to listen to a black man telling her what to do. So brother ended up having to quit that position, sabotage him. They sent him somewhere where they knew he was going to fail. They did that on purpose. They did it on purpose. See, people don't want to hear these uncomfortable truths, man. But I seen that. You know what I'm saying? So they'll send you to the white side of town because they know how it's gonna turn out. They know how that's gonna turn out for you. So I stopped playing their game. I stopped playing their game, man. I was reading a book, still reading a book about Khalid Mohammed. And it's one thing, it's funny, you know what I'm saying? But in that book, Malik Shabazz was talking about how Khalid Muhammad didn't believe in the white law, he believed in the black law. And that led to him doing some things that would be considered illegal. You know what I'm saying? But man, Khalid Muhammad was that revolutionary out here. He didn't deal with the white law, he dealt with the black law. So he took matters into his own hands. That got him locked up though. You know what I'm saying? That got him locked up, man. But hey, he was like, man, forget this system. They've been pimping us for so long. You know what I'm saying? We're going to take matters into our own hands. We're going to do some things. We're going to be really revolutionary out here. Because they play by a totally different set of rules. Totally different set of rules, man. What qualified? Like, listen, we gotta be near perfect. You know what I'm saying? For us to get certain positions in corporate America, you got to be near perfect. For you to even get considered for the job, you got to be perfect. I'm talking about everything got to be perfect. You speak, the interview got to be perfect. Resume got to be perfect. When I say the resume got to be perfect, I'm talking about everything in that resume. The format, everything. The whole resume got to be punctuation, grammar, everything got to be perfect in that resume. You could misspell one word in that resume, and that's all they need for you to be like, oh, you disqualified. Whole white man, that don't apply to the white people. That don't apply to that white person. That don't apply to them. They play by a totally different set of rules. And of course, what people don't understand too, people don't understand this about white folks too when we talking about the white and black dynamic. A lot of people say, well, it's a lot of white people that get overlooked. It's a lot of white people that don't get these jobs. Of course, you're going to have some collateral damage. One thing you got to understand about white people, man, they savages. They savages. They don't mind taking out their own people as well. But at the end of the day, if they have to choose, this is the thing about it. They got to choose between the black man, white man. Who you think they're going to choose? They're going to choose the white man 100% of the time. That don't mean that all white men going to get these jobs. That don't mean that. But that means when it comes down to a choice, when it comes down to choices, we have got to choose our own before we start letting other people in. Now, not everybody that's white is going to get an opportunity. But we going to make sure enough of us do. But in order for us to remain covert with it, we got to reject some white folks. We got to turn down some white folks. We got to make it look like we being fair. So they have to do that. And people don't understand that. People don't understand that. So when people start saying things, well, oh, white people this and white people, this happened to white people too, it has to. It has to. We are in the wilderness of North America. They are trying to be covert with it. So it has to happen like that. But again, who is going to fare much better in corporate America? Who has the better chance in corporate America? The black man with knowledge of self, who's unapologetically black, or the white man, the average white man, the average Brad? Just Brad, that just went to school and just is Brad. Nothing spectacular about Brad. He's just a white dude. Who has the better chance of succeeding in corporate America? The unapologetic black man or Brad? It's going to be Brad, man. 95% of the time it's going to be Brad. And that's just a fact of life. They will choose Brad before they choose the black man, the unapologetic black man. Now, if you kiss up, they may allow you to come in the door when you kiss up to them because, again, they feel like you will sell your people out. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to use you to fulfill a certain type of purpose. And once they done with you, then all truths, like they done with you, they going to discard you. They're going to discard you. So they're going to use you. They're going to use the Sambo. So you might have a good chance to rise up the ranks when you're Sambo out here. You may have a very good chance to rise up the ranks. You're going to be the token black person. They can tell you some things. You can sell your people out. They're going to have you go to all the functions that revolve around you talking to black people. See, they're going to send you to do dirty work. They're going to send you to do all the dirty work. But they not the unapologetic black man. No, sir. Can't. No, sir. Once again, cancel Christmas. No, sir. Brad, they gonna look out. They gonna look out for Brad. Chrissy for sure. And that's why I say. And again, that's why I say I don't get mad when they do it. I don't get mad. White people are just, listen. White people are doing what they are supposed to do. That's what people don't understand. They are doing what they are supposed to do. They are doing what's in their nature to do. Again, I'm never mad at them. It's like when a white person, when a white Jew, you know what I'm saying? Because we know who the true Jews are. But when a white person, when an Asian person, when they encourage their children to date within their ethnicity, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. When they have these jobs, when they have establishments and they hire their own people over us, I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with the black people that complain about that. If you go into on the Asian side of town and you trying to move up the in a system that was never intended for us to be equal with another group of people. It was never designed for that. It's only so much room at the top for black folks. So we get to hooping and hollering, crying, getting stressed out, getting in our feelings about this system that was not designed for us to rise amongst the top, or rise to the top in large numbers. So we got to look at creating our own systems. Literally. That's when we gonna rise. And then when we create the system, then we look out for our own people. So we allow white people to have their system. We allow the white folks to look out for their own people. We allow the Asians to have their own system. We allow the Asians to look out for their own people. We allow the Arabs to have their own system. We allow the Arabs to look out for their own people. We got to do that now. Shantae, Antoinette, Peace, Queens, what's happening? We got to do that. That's what we got to do. We gods, right? You know what I'm saying? We kings, right? We powerful, right? Then that's what we got to do. That's what we got to do. Create our own systems. Look out for our own people. That's what we must do because everybody else is doing it. But it's like when a black person start teaching that, when a black person start preaching that, then everybody want to say that's hate, that's racism, all of that. Oh, that's adding to the division. That's making, see, this is why racism won't die, because they hearing something along, they hearing what I'm saying. Whole while these other groups literally practice this. Literally. Ali, for sure. We are the one. That's why I say I get upset with black people. That's what inspired the title for this stream. You know what I'm saying? We get the information, we get the knowledge about how powerful we are as people, how powerful we were as people, and then we continue to enrich these people that have gotten wicked names, that have earned wicked titles over the years for the things that they have done to our people. We continue to enrich them. We give them names like the devils, you know what I'm saying, grafted people, you know, recessive man, all of this. And we continue to enrich their empires. We got to stop doing that. We got to stop doing that. We talk about how bad they need us. You know what I'm saying? How hard it would be for them to function without us. Yet we make it easy. We make it easy. We continue to give our hard-earned dollars to them. You know what I'm saying? We tapping into things that add to our destruction. Like, we got to stop doing that, especially if you have reached that point to where you know and understand our history, or your story, whatever the case may be, however you want to refer to it. Once you come to that realization, it's like, all right, it's time for me to move differently. It's time for us to move differently. Like I said, once I got that first lesson, once I got my first lesson, I took it and I ran with it. I said, I know exactly what this means. I know exactly what this means, man. Once I got the first lesson, I was good. Once that joint told me who the original man was, who is the original man, I done repeated this mug about 5 times on this stream. The Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, father of civilization, God of the universe. Once I got it, I said, I got it. I got it. I know what that means. Maker, owner, cream of the planet Earth, father of civilization, got it. I took that to heart. I'm like, man, I'm putting that into motion. I put that into motion. Elijah Muhammad them said, when you look at a black man, you see God and things like that. Like, I'm putting that into motion. I'm putting that into motion. You're not going to be able to stop me. It ain't about to be anybody that I refer to as grafted stopping me. Nobody like that is about to stop me, because we got more power. Especially once I come to that realization. Once I come to that realization. Once I got the first lesson, I ran with it, man. Once I got lesson number 1, I said, this is it. It's right and exact. This is what I needed. Confirmation, validation, zit. I'm finna put this into motion. I'm finna put it into motion. I'm finna put it into motion. And I put it into motion. I'm not about, listen, we got to get our position back. We got to reclaim our position on that throne, man. We got to do it. Like, I'm tired of us talking about it. We got to start doing it. We got to start seeing more black people make power moves, man. We got to start seeing it more. We got to take over. We got the power to do it. We got the financial power to do it. We got the mental power to do it. We got the physical power to do it, for real. To be honest with you, we just got to unite. And we got to realize we got a common enemy. And that's another thing, getting people to realize that. We got to unite. We got to realize we got the common enemy. We got to learn how to put the petty differences to the side and realize that we got this common enemy. It has happened a few times. It's happened a few times where we came together. You remember when Rodney King, when that situation popped off? When that situation popped off, man, we was Crips, Bloods, all that. We was uniting, coming together like, boom. It can happen. It's possible. It is possible. We just got to keep it going once it happens. Once it happens, we got to be like, all right, cool. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. Once we do it, gotta keep it going. Keep the momentum going, because it's possible. It's possible. We ain't seen many times where it's possible that some of these games can put the differences to the side for the greater good. It's possible because we've seen it. So stop acting like it's not possible. We have seen examples of it happening for a brief period of time. But that brief period of time is all we need to see that something is possible. So we have seen that it's possible for people who were once considered enemies to come together for a common cause and wreak havoc and chaos. And that's what we need. It's a time for peace. It's a time for war. When it's wartime, those Crips and Bloods, they the soldiers for real. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. When it's wartime, listen, when it's wartime, those Crips and Bloods, you know what I'm saying, those what we call gangbang, like, we gonna need them. Those gonna be our foot soldiers. Those gonna be our soldiers. Like, honestly, that's who gonna be the soldiers. They gonna be on the ground. They gonna be the ones putting in the work. When it's that time, we gonna need them brothers. We gonna need them brothers. Those gonna be the soldiers. Those gonna be the soldiers. Oh, wise approvals for sure. For sure. Hold on. Let me add wise approvals as a moderator. But yeah, for sure. We already know that. We already know that on the wisdom day. You know what I'm saying? Again, who is the colored man? The colored man is the Caucasian, the white man. Yaku's grafted devil of the planet Earth. That's the degree for the day. You know what I'm saying? Again, once I got that lesson, I really started to understand things, and I started studying what it means to be grafted and whatnot. And that's how you come up with, that's how you start, when you study that, when I came across that lesson, that led me to study things like eugenics, selective breeding, like all of the things that we got in the lessons can be backed by science. When you hear something like Yaku's grafted devil of the planet Earth, people hear grafted and don't understand what grafted means. Start doing the knowledge to eugenics, selective breeding, and things like that, and you will see how we get from black to white. You will see how that process goes. This is something that actually happens. Something that actually happens. Eugenics and selective breeding. The white scientists, man, they was trying to use eugenics to prove something about us when they was sterilizing black people, when they didn't want black people procreating. They didn't want black people procreating. They didn't want the listen, they didn't want people that they felt like were inferior, were just not mentally up to par. They didn't want those people coming together procreating. So you had sterilization, eugenics, and things like that, and they was utilizing their science to back that. So if you had low test scores and all that type of stuff, which we know a lot of black people at that period of time had low test scores because we didn't have the best utensils on our hands or at our disposal to do good on these tests. And these tests was written by them and things along those lines. So we didn't have the best material. We didn't have the best books. We didn't have the best learning environments. So, of course, naturally, we were not the best when it came to mastering their test. So when you was having low test scores and whatnot, they was like, listen, y'all can't be coming together procreating. So they was out here sterilizing folk to where they wasn't able to procreate. So they was using their science to back that type of stuff. Man, that's eugenics. That's selective breeding. Things like that. They was trying to make us look like the wheat germ. And they didn't want us procreating off of that. So they gonna create a test, a standardized test. They gonna write it in their language. And they gonna penalize us for not being able to master a test that they created for their people. And then make us feel like we are dumb and we are slow and we are inferior because we were forced to come over here and we not able to master a test, and they wouldn't even allow us to read for so long. But they wasn't allowing us to read for so long, and then they create this test and we not able to do good on the test, and then now they finna say, all right, we got to sterilize these folks. We can't allow y'all to procreate. That's the type of stuff that they was on. That's the trick knowledge, man. That's the trick knowledge. That's the trick knowledge. That is big time trick knowledge. And that's what they was on. Big time trick knowledge. Big time trick knowledge, man. But that's how they was moving. That's how they was moving. And this is why when people tell me they trust science, talking about the jab, this is why I laugh at people. And they say, I trust in science. Well, do you understand back in the day, the science was eugenics. The science was selective breeding. The science was the black man was inferior. So people act like science can't be corrupted. People act like scientists can't have an agenda. People act like science cannot be bought off. The science back in the day where black people was inferior. Black people were dumb, so they didn't want us to procreate. They were sterilizing black people using their science at the time. So all the people that's talking about they getting the jab, all the black people that's talking about I'm getting the jab because I trust science. What about the science back then that was telling you that your people are dumb, that your people are not smart enough to procreate? So they deserve to be sterilized. They deserve to not procreate. What about that science? You trust science back then? They were trusting the science back then, huh? Come on, man. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me acting like science can't be corrupted, acting like these scientists can't be out here supporting a certain agenda. Man, there's plenty of scientists that came out and told y'all that is the case. It's plenty of scientists that have tried to speak the truth but got silenced. So no, stop acting like science. The mainstream science cannot be corrupted because it is. Just like the science back in the day that was trying to tell you that black people were inferior. That was the science back in the day. That literally was the science. Literally. Literally. So stop playing with me, man. Stop talking about trusting science. All you religious folks, all of a sudden now y'all trust science. Stop playing. When you religious one moment and it's all about faith, and then when they come out with a jab, now you want to talk to me about science. Stop that. Stop all of that. Stop all of that. One minute is faith, and then the next minute now you trust science. You believe in science now. Man, come on now. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me, man. They have corrupted science. They have been corrupted science. Science can be corrupted. It's very easy to do, just like anything else. When you got money, you can corrupt a lot in the wilderness of North America. When you got money, you can corrupt a lot in the wilderness of North America. And that's what they have done. But y'all can miss me with that whole science thing. Trust science. Come on, stop playing with me. You trust science, but just 2 years ago, it was all about faith. God got you and stuff like that. Now you want to talk to me about now you trust science now. Come on, man. Stop playing. You trust in their version of the science. You trust in their version of the science. That is what you are doing. That's what you are doing. Like I said back in the day, if we trusted science enough, we would literally believe that we are inferior. Because again, that was their science at the time. That was their science at the time. We know that that science is inaccurate. We know that that's inaccurate. But that's what they had people out here believing that. And they were justifying it using their scientists. So, when y'all start talking to me about science and trusting science, I'm going to go back to that period of time. Because that was the science. That was the popular science. Eugenics, selective breeding. Again, the weak breeds. They were trying to get rid of the weak breeds. Who were the weak breeds? Who were the weak breeds? It wasn't them. The weak breeds were us. So that's why you have forced sterilization and things along those lines. That's why you see abortion clinics in black neighborhoods. Man, you go to the white side of town, you are pressed to find an abortion clinic. Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? That's why they did things like that. Because they wanted to try to get rid of the weak breeds. Like, this is what their science was on. This is what their science was on, man. Come on now. This is what their science was on. So again, y'all got to understand how to decipher the true science from their version of the science, the version that they want you to see. So stop acting like these things cannot be corrupted. Come on. Stop doing that. Stop doing that, man. These things are not holy. You know what I'm saying? Something that was not tampered with. No, it's been tampered with. It's been corrupted. It's been bought out. Come on. Everything is up for sale out here, even your science. It's up for sale. It's up for sale, man. It's up for sale. Even that science is up for sale. So again, you talking about trusting in the science sounds cool and all, man. Sounds cool. What version of science are you trusting in, though? What version of the science are you putting your faith into? Listen how that sound. Listen how that sound. What version of the science are you putting your faith into? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like I said, most of the time I live more religiously than religious people. You know what I'm saying? I say that all the time. I live more religiously than the religious people. And it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, the more non-religious I became, the more religious I actually started to live. You know what I'm saying? Once you study, the scriptures and, Qurans and all of that. When you study all of these coaches, all of these groups, like, the more non-religious I became, like, I realized that I'm living like how these doctrines is telling the people to live. Because you start realizing that the most powerful people in these doctrines, you are them. So you start living according to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, ye are all gods, children of the Most High type deal. You take that information and you're like, well, dang, the person who they got everybody worshiping, for one, didn't tell them to worship him. Then he telling you that you can be the same. So I took that and I ran with it. I'm like, ooh, okay, got it. You studying Buddhism. The Buddha that they worship, he never said create a culture called Buddhism. He's letting you know, first of all, that means the enlightened one. He's letting you know that you can reach the same level. So why am I worshiping him? He didn't tell me to do that. Whether or not they existed or not. But if I'm going off of the story, the message in the story, he didn't say, or they didn't say create a religion, based on my name, based off worshiping me. No, they are all letting you know that, hey, what I'm doing, you can do it too. Here's how you do it. Here's how you become the enlightened one. Here's how you become the Christ. It's all in their works, literally. You know what I'm saying? It's all there, literally. So when you start doing the knowledge to these things, you start living that reality. You're like, dang, man, these dudes are giving you the formula. They are literally giving you the formula. When you study all of these cultures, when you study all of these figures that people worship, they literally telling people not to worship them, and they giving you the formula of how to be like them, how to live like them. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. So I'm like, dude, I don't need to be religious. I'm out to study these joints and then just live how these folks saying live, because these folks, they never say create something revolving around their name. Again, this is something that a lot of these white folks did. Gave you Christianity, gave you the white image of G, like they had meetings. Council of Nicaea Creed, like they had meetings. They said, all right, we're gonna celebrate the birth of this guy that we're gonna name Jesus on this. That like they had meetings and gave you all of this. Gave you all of this type of stuff. That's what they did. Gave you all of this nonsense, man. Gave you all of it, man. So at some point, we gotta stop looking to the sky. You know what I'm saying? We gotta stop. We gotta stop doing all this. We gotta get up off our knees, man, and we gotta start putting in that work. You know what I'm saying? We look into the sky while they mastering everything that's on the ground. While they mastering everything that's on this earth. But we look into the sky. What they say, the pie in the sky. What Khalid Mohammed say, man, I'm gonna have to paraphrase it because I don't remember it verbatim. But they got us looking for the pie in the sky. Khalid Muhammad said he wants something sound while he's on the ground and still around. That's what Khalid Muhammad said. He wants something sound while he's on the ground and still around. Paraphrasing. But it was some along those lines. That's what we should be after. We should want something sound while we are on the ground and still around. We shouldn't have to be trying to wait until we die to get our pie in the sky, because we are not guaranteed that that's going to happen. So we should get something sound while we on the ground and still around. That's what we should all be striving to do, striving to manifest, because it is not promised that you will get any type of pie in the sky after you die. But you can definitely get something sound and on the ground while you are still around. You could do that. You could definitely do that. You can definitely do that. You know what I'm saying? But they distracted us and they got us looking to the sky. They got us doing all this praying. They got us doing all this hoping. They got us having all this faith. Whole wow, they mastering, they creating their heaven right here on earth. They got us waiting to get our heaven. They got us thinking that we got to struggle while we on earth and we going to get rewarded after we die. That's when we going to see our heaven. That's how they manipulated black people. We got to wait till we die to reach our heaven. They can have their heaven on earth, though. Get out of here with that nonsense. I'm getting my heaven on earth because that's all heaven is. You know what I'm saying? State of mind. State of mind's a way of life. It ain't a physical place that you go after you die. Same thing for hell. It ain't a physical place that you go after you die. We done seen hell right here on earth. We done seen heaven right here on earth. We done seen it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to get my heaven while I'm here on earth. I don't know about y'all, but that's how I'm going to manifest my heaven while I'm right here, while I'm living, while I'm breathing. That's when I'm going to manifest my heaven. That's how I'm going to manifest my heaven. Again, I don't know about y'all, but that's how I'm going about it. I'm not trying to wait until I die to see if I'm going to reach some type of heaven. Got time for that. I don't have time for that uncertainty. So I'm going to go for mine while I'm breathing, while I'm living. That's how I'm approaching it. That's how I'm approaching it. Lindell, nah, I don't recommend that one per se. I haven't even read that one, but a lot of people within the culture, they did not speak so highly of it. But Supreme Understanding, like pretty much all of his books, man, Knowledge of Self, The Science of Self, How to Hustle and Win, volumes 1 and 2, When the World Was Black. Like, I recommend his books for the most part. What's his name? Starmel the Law. He got a book called The Righteous Way. I recommend that book. It's a few other books pertaining to the 5% culture that I would recommend, but those are some of the main ones that I recommend. The Righteous Way is a good one. Knowledge of Self by Supreme Understanding. Science of Self. When the World Was Black. All of those good books, man. Those are books that I recommend, written by actual guys that are in the culture. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I recommend those books first. Taka Zulu for sure. For sure, man. And then, you know what I'm saying, you got people that say the white image is Michelangelo's cousin, all of that type of all of that type of stuff. Man, you just got a bunch of different. Fact of the matter is, I'm gonna tell you one thing, all I need to know. First of all, we can get into the existence of that, of a Jesus or whatever. I don't even care about that, but I'll tell you one thing, if a character like that existed, definitely wasn't white. That part I do know. That much I do know. If he existed, definitely wasn't white. That much we can all agree on if we being honest. You know what I'm saying? So when you see white images like that, we already know that that's not historically accurate. So that part, like that's all I needed to know. Oh, Lee, and one thing about that, and I'm gonna tell you, Lee, something, because I had my phase in that. It really wasn't a phase though. But I would say a lot of people misunderstand atheists. And again, that ain't popular, but I feel like people misunderstand atheists. Really feel like people do. Feel like people do a lot of times, man. So hey, shout out to Lito. But a lot of people misunderstand people that possess that label, people that proclaim to be that. A lot of people misunderstand them. And again, I understand that. It's due to our religious upbringing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't understand a person that's saying, nah, I don't believe in none of that. And a lot of times, again, it's that judgment. You know what I'm saying? When you sit back and you do the knowledge to a person and you just listen to a person to see how they reach that conclusion, you're going to see how much sense that it makes. But a lot of times we don't want to allow a person that has reached that conclusion to get their opinion off the ground or get their opinion out there, because we feel like it might be some truth to what they saying. So we don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear it. Oh, Kuma, man, listen, don't get me started on the Vatican. Don't get me started on the Vatican, these British museums that have taken all of our history, that have taken a lot of African history, black history, original history, whatever you want to call it, and they storing it in their museums like they own it. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, we gotta listen. That's what I mean by taking our power back. They done created these museums. They got all our artifacts in these museums that they own and control. Whole while they destroyed our libraries and stole the artifacts. You know what I'm saying? So we had these artifacts, we had this information and knowledge stored in our museums, in our libraries, and they destroyed these libraries. They destroyed these museums. And they got the stuff in their museums. They got the leftovers in their museums, in their Vaticans, and things like that. See, we got to go back to that. We got to create our own libraries. We got to create our own museums so that we can go back to storing our history. Just think about how much of our history was lost when they was out here burning up and destroying our libraries. Just think about it. Think about how much of our history that we really just don't know because it was destroyed when they was destroying our libraries. It's a lot of history. It's a lot of black history, a lot of original history that we do not know. Now, we got a lot of ancestors and elders that have done the work to go back and try to retrieve a lot of that history. But a lot of the history was still lost when they was burning the libraries. Justin, what you say? Let me see. You say, what was that book called that you showed explaining the mystery God ideology? Ooh, it's a few books that I got on that. I don't think it's a book that actually, so you could be talking about the Encyclopedia of Proof that the black man is God. I don't know if that was it. Wesley Mohammed wrote that joint. But that is one of the books that goes into that a little bit. The Encyclopedia of Proof that the Black Man is God by Wesley Mohammed. See, this is the type of stuff that I was reading way back in the day. And you know what I'm saying? You had to shield a lot of what you was reading. So I would be going out to like little functions. You know what I'm saying? You go out to like a little brunch spot. You would be outside with your book and you reading something like that. Where the title is like the Encyclopedia of Proof that the Black Man is God. You imagine the eyes. You imagine how people was looking at me when I was a 19, 20-year-old reading this type of book? That's what I was on, though. I had that, the Encyclopedia of Proof that the black man is God, Elijah Muhammad, the message to the black man, supreme knowledge of self. These are books that I had at the time. These are books that I was studying at the time. So just imagine. And the crazy thing is, when I say imagine the type of eyes I was getting, I'm not talking about from white folks. I'm talking about from black people. I'm talking about from black people. Like these are the books that I was like surrounding myself with as a young boy. As a young boy. As a young boy. Peace to the God for tapping in. But yeah, these are some of the books that I was reading my younger years. You know what I'm saying? So it like the atmosphere, that's how I know. That's how I know the type of energy that will surround you when you know the truth about yourself, about your history. It's a different type of energy, man. It's a different type of energy that comes from your own people. It's a different type of energy that comes from white folks. And like I say, people hear what I'm saying, and people gonna think that white people will be the people that I argue with the most. Man, I had constructive conversations with a lot of white people when I started coming into this knowledge. Because they were understanding, like, man, yep, my ancestors was trash, this, that, and the third, so I can see why you view it like that. I had a lot of honest conversations with white folks. It was the black people that I'm having to argue with when it came to this knowledge. When it came to the knowledge itself, when it came to the black history, to the original history. You know what I'm saying? That's who I was arguing with the most. And still to this day, because again, we so lost, deaf, dumb, and blind, all of this stuff. But when I was walking around with these books, the Elijah Muhammad books, How to Eat to Live, the Encyclopedia of Proof that the black man is God, Message to the Black Man, Knowledge of Self. Like when I'm walking around with these books, I was getting like black people like, man, why are you reading that? You Muslim? Like, why are you doing that? What you reading that for? You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, this book is uplifting you. This book is giving me the truth about my story that they done lied to us about. What do you mean why I'm reading this? It should be, if I've got a book that says Message to the Black Man, just off of the title alone, you should not question why I'm reading it in a negative light. What you reading that for? Like, it's Message to the Black Man. You can almost use context clues to figure out why I'm reading a book like that. Man, Justin, I'll be recommending so many books. I'm gonna have to tap back in. I'm gonna have to go back to the live, man. I recommended so many books, I can't even remember. You say it was the one that you had showed a couple streams. I can't remember. It was the one talking about disproving religion people experience of one mystery God. Man, I gotta go back to the lab. I think I know what you're talking about. I gotta go back to the lab though. Because I can't remember off the top of my head. I think I know which one you're talking about, though. But I'm recommending so many books, man. I be forgetting what books I recommended, what books I haven't recommended. FS, for sure. And I don't know, like I said, I talked about this in an older stream. When they was out there tampering with, I think it was King Tut, his tomb. And everybody that tampered with that tomb, they ended up dead. They ended up dying. So I'm saying, leave that stuff alone. Leave that stuff alone. You know what I'm saying? I watched that documentary some years ago. They kept tampering with King Tut's tomb. All the white folks that tampered with it, they ended up mysteriously dying. Stop tampering with the tombs. Like, leave the stuff alone, white folk. Like, it ain't intended for you to tamper with it. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? So they gon', again, man, they time gonna come, man. They time gonna come. We done had plenty of our elders. We done had plenty of our ancestors. You know what I'm saying? Let them know. Like, hey, they time is coming to an end. You done had plenty of articles written by some white scientists that was like, by the year 2050, they gonna be, you know what I'm saying, the whole world pretty much gonna be brown and black. That may not be scientifically accurate, but hey, it's getting close. They do fear their annihilation, genetically speaking. That's why they don't like they people mixing with with original people. They don't like that because they know scientifically that's gonna end up wiping them out. You know what I'm saying? So they don't really too much like that. They don't like the interracial thing. You know what I'm saying? When you come across a true white, whatever you want to call it, white supremacist, white nationalist, whatever the case may be, like they not for that. They trying to preserve the bloodline, and they know that them mixing with us is gonna wipe them out. It's not gonna wipe us out. You know, like us mixing with them ain't wiping us out. It will wipe them out though if it continues to happen. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of them, they fear that, so they don't want that to happen. And you done had white scientists write about that. So again, this ain't nothing that a black man is just up here making up. It's white scientists that then talked about that. Again, because people ain't gonna believe it when a black man is up here talking about it. They gonna believe it when it's a white person that gives them the information. So you got to give people the white sources in order for them to believe it in the first place. Give them the white source. You know what I'm saying? Let them show them that a white person wrote it, and they'll be like, "Dang, I believe it now." You know what I'm saying? It's almost like with the health and nutrition and all of that. When you start speaking about it, they don't want to listen to it coming from a black man. But when you show them the white doctor that wrote about the same thing you just said, they're going to listen to it. Like I said, I always talk about this. Elijah Muhammad gave you intermittent fasting before it had a name. He told you eat 1 meal a day. You ain't want to listen to Elijah Muhammad. But then when the white folks come out here and say, well, this is intermittent fasting and it's good for weight loss, then you like, oh, I'm going to do it. Oh, wow, Farrakhan. Now, he did have a little fight with cancer, whatever the case may be. But Farrakhan, for the most part, they got a lot of credit for his youthful looks as he has gotten older and things along those lines. A credit to that would be the 1 meal a day thing. But we ain't giving Elijah Muhammad no credit for that. We let the white folks come out and call it intermittent fasting and make it look like they created it. Like we saw, intermittent fasting. No, dude, that is the 1 meal a day. How to eat to live. That's what that is. To show you how bold they are and crazy, it's white folk. It's a white, I think it's a couple. It's either a couple or it's just one dude that wrote it. But it's a white version of How to Eat to Live. It's literally a book written by a white dude, how to eat to live or eat to live. Like literally. Then took the book and then took the name of the book. Like, come on now. But again, like when a white person tell you to eat 1 meal a day and use their science to back it, you like, ooh, that makes sense. Let me eat 1 meal a day and call it intermittent fasting. Elijah Muhammad told you, like, I ain't listening to them Muslims. I ain't listening to this black dude don't know what he talking about. What are his credentials? He don't know what he's talking about. Oh, wow, he living out the reality. You know what I'm saying? He living out the reality. He got people in his group living out the reality and they healthy. You can see it. They looking like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Then you having a hard time typing, man. But it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Like, that's the type of stuff that they do, man. They taking credit for things that they didn't even come up with. They good for that. But like I said, intermittent fasting, that's black. We came up with that, man. We came up with that. We just didn't call it that. We did not call it that at all. So we got plenty of black people that gave us the game from a nutritional, from a health standpoint. People don't want to listen to them for the most part. We got a lot of black people that do listen to them, but again, the average black person, they're not about to listen to this black person giving them that health advice, giving them that nutrition advice. When that white man comes out with his so-called science, then it's like, ooh, okay, let's implement it. Let's implement it. To show you how things are corrupted, to show you how inaccurate they are, like just with the whole weight loss situation. Years ago, you know what I'm saying, 20, 30 years ago, the culprit for weight gain was fat. So they was like, stay away from the fat if you want to lose weight. So they had people on low-fat diets, low-fat regimens, because that's what the science was saying at the time. Fast forward to today. What is the new enemy? What is the new villain? Carbs. So they just show you how fickle they are. Years ago, 20, 30 years ago, it was fat. They told you go on a low-fat diet. Low-fat. Low-fat this, low-fat that. Eat your carbs, eat your protein, low-fat. Fast forward to today, carbs are now the problem. Fast forward 20, 30 years from now, it might not be carbs, it might be protein now. They show you how fickle they are, man. Show you how fickle they are, man. Show you how fickle everything is, man. It's all about the agenda, man. It's all about the money. It's all about the money. Dang, man, yeah. People, I still get to argue a Muslim joint. I still get that. So many times if I have explained to people, but I still get that. I still get that. And like you said, they praise Malcolm X. And then I hit him with the, even if I was a Muslim, what would the problem be? Like, would that be a problem? You know what I'm saying? So like they asked that question. I'm like, if I say yes, is there a problem? You know what I'm saying? Like, is that a problem if I'm a Muslim? Like, is that bothering you? Like, the fact that you gotta ask me that. I don't, it's crazy because I never asked, like, are you a Christian? Are you a, like, I never asked anybody that based off of something that they didn't did or something that they didn't said. You know what I'm saying? I ain't asking nobody that. So let me live my life, man. Whatever you think I am probably, man. You know what I'm saying? Just, I'm gonna let you think what you think. But don't ask me that question because I'm choosing to make righteous decisions. Why can't I just be a righteous black man? Why can't I be a black man that's just striving to be healthy? You know what I'm saying? Like, stop that. Prodigal son, you say, I've recently cut out a lot of carbs, just mean fruits and vegetables and drink lots of alkaline water. And see, prodigal son, like, that's the thing. That's why I said carbs, because fruits and vegetables are carbs. You know what I'm saying? So you got good carbs, you got, you know what I'm saying, refined carbs. You got good carbs, you got bad carbs. You know what I'm saying? The refined carbs. You don't want to fool with those type of joints, man. You don't want to fool with them joints. You don't want to fool with them joints. The refined carbs are your white pastas, your breads, your white breads. You know what I'm saying? Your chips, your junk foods, and all that. Your complex carbs are your fruits, your veggies. You know what I'm saying? The quinoa and things along those lines, the whole grains. Those are not detrimental. You know what I'm saying? When you study the healthiest populations on this planet, most of them consume a high percentage of carbs. Like, that's literally the fuel for your body is carbs. So that's why you see a lot of people, they go keto, and I'm talking about they don't eat fruits, they eating a very small amount of carbs, and that's why you see them lack energy. That's why you see that they irritable. Like, these are symptoms or side effects of like a keto lifestyle. Irritability, lacking energy, because you have cut off your main energy source, which would be carbs. Like, your body literally needs that for energy. Your body thrives off of carbs, the good carbs, the complex carbs. You know what I'm saying? So when these people go keto and they eliminate, like, they minimize their carb intake severely, and I'm talking about all carbs, complex and refined. When they minimize them joints severely, they suffering. Like, man, their energy is trash. They irritable. They just easily upset, easily angry. Like, that's the side effect. Your body was not designed to exist for a long period of time without carbs, without complex carbs. And that's the thing, when they have lumped carbs all in one box, that's when I have a problem. When people act like they can't eat fruits, I'm ready to fight at that point. Yeah, prodigal son, like, and that, yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times people throw carbs in one whole entire box. One whole entire box. Like, I ain't eat no carbs. No. Like, I got people that literally are afraid to eat fruits. Please don't be afraid to eat fruits. Please don't. Until somebody finds me a group of people that have consumed a large percentage of fruits and veggies. I'm talking about organic fruits and veggies, and they have died, like, because of that, then I'll shut up talking. But I can't name a population. Avid, you say good foods for lowering body fat and water retention. I'm at around 16%, but I want to get a leaner face and more cuts in my physique. So, Avid, with that, so of course, there's no magic bullet, no magic food that will make you leaner, that will decrease your body fat. It's a lot of different factors. So if you're trying to get more leaner, then of course, obviously, you want to stay away from the foods that's going to add onto the waistline. And sometimes those foods are different for different people. So you just got to pay attention to what foods affect you. Like, some people, like, I can eat like potatoes, for instance. I can eat potatoes and it don't really add on to my waistline. Other people, they eat potatoes and it's like, man, they start putting on weight instantly. And I'm talking about, of course, organic potatoes, and I'm not talking about going crazy with them and frying them things and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So you got to pay attention to the foods that impact. You got to pay attention to the foods that go right to your stomach, right to the gut. You got to pay attention. So that's part of it too, taking notes. But if you consume in a large portion of fruits, veggies, and drinking plenty of your water, and then eating some beans, you know, lentils, black beans, kidney beans, red beans, chickpeas, split peas, all of those good things, man. And practice some fasting. You know what I'm saying? Finding 1 or 2 days out the week and just going 24 hours with just straight water. Then you will lean out. You will lean out with the quickness, and then you make sure you're working out on top of that, doing some strength training if you can. If you cannot, then following a good progressive calisthenic routine will also help you with it. So just some fat periods of fasting, increasing your intake of fruits, veggies, and the beans, of course, like with the split peas and all of that type of good stuff. And then just strength training or progressive calisthenic routine, you will lean out in no time. Like my body fat is every bit of like 9-10%. And that's literally what I do. Definitely, I'm like fasting all the time. Like I'm always practicing intermittent fasting for the most part. For the most part. I will do the 1 meal a day thing for the most part. Except for when I'm trying to like bulk up and things like that. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's a whole like multitude of things that you got to do in order to get that body fat down. But the biggest part about getting the body fat down is just adding that muscle. So the way you want to tap into that muscle is strength training, hitting the weights, or doing a progressive calisthenic routine. And then just making sure you're eating light. You know what I'm saying? Eat clean, live heavy type deal is what they say. You know what I'm saying? So get your workout in, work out hard, go hard with your workouts. Then make sure you're eating a lot of greens. A lot of greens, and then you have your fruits, like I say, in the morning and things along those lines, and you get your water in. And you getting your beans and all that good stuff for the protein, for the iron and all that good stuff, for your fiber, all that good stuff. And that's going to keep you lean. All right, it's going to get you lean, and it's going to keep you lean. The angelic peace, what's happening? What's happening? Yeah, dog tired, man. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times, man, y'all can't tell some of the stuff I be dealing with and be going through, man, because like I said, I'm always on the grind for the most part. You know what I'm saying? So on the surface, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people can't tell because I'm always on the go. I'm always doing things, man. But yeah, I done had a few periods over the last few, weeks and months and whatnot, man. Just been a little bit drained, man, just like mentally. So I'm really trying to get my gym to a certain point as far as like clients and whatnot, to where I can kind of, you know what I'm saying, shut off from the main, like Facebook, Instagram, all that type of stuff. I don't really be on Instagram like that, but I want to disconnect from like Facebook. Only reason like I'm on Facebook now is to, you know what I'm saying, for business purposes. So I just want to disconnect from that. I really just want to focus on like 2 things, man. It's like this and just my gym. And I just need to do that just mentally. But I got to focus on a lot of like just having to entertain Facebook is mentally, man. It just does something to me. So once I get like to the point where I'm like, all right, I'm cool, I can just focus on the people that I have, focus on the clients that I have. Then it's like, boom, Facebook got to go. I can just make my moves on here. I can talk my talk on here, and then I can train my people, and then I can just rest and focus on my research. Like that's literally what I want to do. I want to dedicate my life to researching, really. So that's one thing that I want to do. So I'm trying to find a way to go about doing it. So I'm trying to make sure I get this gym to a certain point, man, so I can dedicate a lot more of my time to my studies, to my research, then just get my rest in, man. But I'm always grinding. I'm always putting in work because that's what I got to do. It's a shame that, you know what I'm saying? It's a shame that we as black people, we got to work this hard to earn a living, but it is what it is. I signed up for it because I'll be damned if I'm finna work this hard for a white person. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I was doing. I was working this hard for these white folks. And I said, man, if I'm going to give the white folks all this energy, I can do this for myself and be just as good and feel better about the situation and myself. So that's one of the reasons why I grind so hard, because I'm not trying to go back to corporate America. I ain't trying to go back to these white folks. I ain't trying to go back to them. I refuse. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to grind as hard as I got to. I'm going to grind as hard as I got to grind to maintain my position right now. I'm going to grind as hard as I got to grind. I'm not going back. Not going back to that life. I'm not going back. I'm not going back to that life. Angelic, you said, what's the last book you read? Need some new recommendations. Well, right now I'm reading the book of Khalid. That book is about brother Khalid Mohammed, and I get like that is one of the best books that I have read over the years. It has easily reached like my top books list. This book, and I'm halfway through that joint. This book about a 400 some page book. I'm about on page 200. One of my favorite books easily. And I'm not even really being biased. Like, this book is better than I thought it would be. This book is a crucial book. This book is a crucial book, so I recommend that book. I recommend the Khalid Mohammed book, man. I'm reading that book right now, and this is one of my favorite books easily. Favorite books easily. I feel like every black person needs to read that book. I feel like every black person needs to read about the story and the life of Khalid Mohammed, because a lot of people don't know about his life. It's some things that I didn't know about that I just learned. I was just familiar with a lot of his speeches, but as far as his life, it was some things that I didn't know about, and this book is touching on that. It's a good book. Very good book. Like, very, very powerful book. Very powerful book, man. It's making me respect Brother Khalid a lot more. You know what I'm saying? I already was fascinated with the black man, but it's like this book is just validating it, man. It's just confirming. It's the confirmation that I needed. Like, man, it's the reason why I rock with him. Here it is. Here's the reason. Here's the reason. This book is the reason. This book is the validation. The book is the confirmation that I needed. You know what I'm saying? So that's a very, very powerful book. Very powerful book, man. Shout out to Malik Zulu Shabazz for writing that book, for authoring that book. It's a very good book. I recommend every black person to read that book. I recommend every black person read that book, man. That's a very powerful book, very good book. Great book, honestly. Like I said, I ain't even halfway there yet. Man. But once I'm done with that book, I'll let y'all know the next book, man. But if I was around my books, y'all know how I get. I just get throwing books off the shelf, man, and popping them mugs up on the screen. You know, but that's the book. That's the book that I would recommend. Just right now for black people to just read that book. Yeah, Jay, it's on Amazon. Definitely on Amazon. Get it while it is on Amazon. Because you know Amazon ban a book in a minute. Amazon ban a book in a minute. It ban a book in a minute, man. So you gotta snatch these books. You gotta snatch some of these books on Amazon. Introverted, my sister, you already know. He knew it's cool. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to spoil the book, but yeah, boy. Khalid was that dude. Khalid did some things I ain't even know. Like, he was about that life. When you hear revolutionary, like, he was about that life. Like, I did not know some of the things that was revealed to me in this book that Khalid was on. Like, I didn't know he was grimy like that. I didn't know he was banging on the white folks like that. I did not know that. I mean, I kind of figured it based off his speech, but I didn't really know he was out here. He was out here in the trenches based off of what I have read. Like, he wasn't playing these white folks, man. He was not playing with them at all. Khalid was not playing with him at all. So I was like, okay. He was out here slapping the white so-called Jews, like he putting his hands on them. Like, it's crazy. I ain't know Khalid got down like that. Like, I did not know. I can sense it. You know what I'm saying? Knowing his speeches, I'm like, okay, I can see it. But when I'm reading about it, I'm like, oh, okay. He was about that life. My sister, that Dick Gregory. Yeah, shout out to Dick Gregory too, man. Dick Gregory. Yeah, Dick Gregory got a few joints that you know what I'm saying, that I gotta tap into. But shout out to Dick Gregory. Yeah, the Book of Khalid. That's the name of the book. The Book of Khalid. Malik Zulu Shabazz is the author. Wisdom for sure. I mean, that's my top guy, honestly. Khalid Muhammad probably moved me to more than anybody. As far as his speech, like the energy that Khalid supplied, that's my type of energy. That's my type of vibe 100%. Like the way, like that's the energy. Like the way Khalid was presenting his delivery, that's what I'm talking about. That's how we got to talk to him. That's how we got to live. That's how we got to be out here. Only problem, only thing, man, like just being when some of those brothers, like Malcolm and Khalid, like their love for like Farrakhan, Elijah Muhammad, I feel like it suppressed a lot of that energy, suppressed a lot of that power. Because a lot of times they get suspended, they get silenced within their own nation. So I feel like these brothers could have done a lot more in regards to the revolution if they were not within the nation sometimes. But at the same time, if it were not for the nation, you would not have these people. But I do feel like at times the nation suppressed their true energy. It held them back, held them down. They could have done a lot more, I feel. Ali, yeah. Khalid knew karate. Khalid walked around strapped like Khalid was. Khalid was man. Khalid was out here. Khalid was out here. When I say I read the book, when I'm telling you, it said Khalid didn't believe in the white law. He believed in the black law. Like Khalid was out here. I mean, it's messed up because it's illegal. But Khalid was out here, man, like scamming. Like I'm talking about taking money from these white institutions in a scam-like way because he didn't believe in the white law. He believed in a black law. So he didn't have sympathy when he was taking money from these white institutions by any means necessary. You know what I'm saying? Like Khalid was on that type of time. Here's how he got locked up. He got locked up. He did some time. He did some time because he said he did not believe in the white law. He believed in the black law. And the black law is we gonna make a way for ourselves by any means necessary. Now, of course, we ain't about to start trying to kill our own and things like that. Not like that. But he was like, when it comes to these white establishments and white institutions, he ain't feeling no sympathy. If he do something that causes the crash of this white business, he don't care. Like dude was savage out here. Dude was savage. Khalid Muhammad was definitely savage. Shakir, peace, what's happening? Definitely savage. But y'all, man, with that being said, man, I got one last class that I got to attend to. People about to start pulling up to this joint. So again, I appreciate y'all on the stream. I appreciate all the comments, appreciate all the questions, all that good stuff. The interaction, the stream is always peace. I feel like I got what I needed to get off my chest. Got it off my chest. So with that being said, man, I'm going to try to tap in with y'all tomorrow. If not, man, because I'm always busy. I may try to get a little bit of rest tomorrow. Who knows, man? Who knows? But if I don't tap in with y'all tomorrow, I'm going to definitely tap in Thursday, man. So y'all be easy. Enjoy Tuesday night, man. Enjoy your Wednesday if I'm not able to tap in with y'all, man. It's always peace. And I'm out, y'all. Peace.